Okay, folks, I set up my little outside cooking stove. All it is made out of cinder blocks, set up in a pattern that will cook food. So we've had like 2 or 3 days of rain. Usually what you can do is just feed it twigs. Well, the twigs around here, even though it's been awfully windy today and dry, the twigs are just a little damp. So she's got some smoke. So what I did was I went and got some kindling. And I got some dry kindling in there. So I cooked some eggs. And that frying pan is heating up. So the next step is a real inexpensive meal. I bought boneless pork chops. $2.18 for 2 of them, so that's $1.09 each, right? So $1.09 is pretty cheap for meat, folks. Well, it is up here anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw both these right on the fire and cook them up. I just dug these out of the snowbank. And the snowbanks are dwindling, folks. I've only got 2 snowbanks in the yard right now, and they're awfully small, but that's still my refrigerator for a little bit. So that frying pan wasn't quite hot enough, so I'm going to put some more wood on there. And in the summer, what I'll do is I'll get a bunch of twigs when it's dry and keep them dry, and I'll light a little fire in my little fire pit here and set my coffee pot right on here and have my coffee. So that's what it looks like. It's getting a little warm. I jumped the gun a little bit because it's getting dark and it's getting cold. So all that is, folks, it's basically, and I guess you could call it a rocket stove. I've got a rocket stove is just, it's basic. You can make it as fancy as you want, right? You can make it out of 2 cinder blocks. You can make it out of 3 cinder blocks. You can make it out of 16 cinder blocks and have more than one burner. But I just want it up off the ground, so I've got cinder blocks underneath the cinder blocks, like for a base, so to raise it up a little bit. And then I've just got a shelf where I can set things on, like a little table. But it's basically it's basically a rocket stove. That's what a lot of people call my little stove here. But I know if I can get cinder blocks for all I need for this type of stove, if I went to a store, I could get all the cinder blocks I need for $7, folks. Build myself a little simple outside cook stove, because that's what I call it, and pick up dead branches. You know, everybody's got branches or has access to branches, and cook your meals on that, right? Heat up your water, whatever you want to do, and you can do all, I mean, basically a $7 stove, folks, a $7 stove. So I guess I can't beat that. And I've always had one of these here. Not here, but I've always had an outside stove like this, no matter where I've lived. So it works for me, and I'm kind of used to it. So, and all I've got on there is a cast iron pan, right, and a little stove grate. Just set it on top, because you don't want to set the frying pan or your pot directly over that cinder hole, right? because then it won't burn. It'll suffocate the fire. So let me take you off, and I'll show you this awful primitive way I cook. Alright, so there we have it. Okay, nothing fancy, nothing fancy. I've got my old cinder blocks here I'm using as a table, and that's all that is a table. Okay, I could turn that cinder block sideways so I'd have, you know, not the hole sticking up. I could do that, and I might. So, cinder blocks, my little table, basically, to give it some height so I'm not bending over. And I've got a little place where I keep there's my package I just got my pork in. That's where I keep my little twigs and fire starter stuff. And that is the fire. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is cooking on top of the chimney. That's basically what I'm doing. So I've got my home canned butter, and I need to put more heat under that. Like I said, I should have started out with dry kindling and instead of the damp twigs there. But we'll remedy that. That won't take too long. So pretty simple, folks. And again, for $10, less than $10, you can have yourself an outside stove that really, once you know how to set it up, it'll take less than a minute, folks. Alright, so if you want to save fuel inside your house, whether it's gas stove or electric stove, there we go. That's pretty simple. You're out getting the fresh air. Pretend you're camping, right? Pretend you're camping. And if I ever have the time, what I will do is make one of these stoves into an oven. And if I have time to do that this year, I will definitely show you. So what I did, folks, is I split up some kindling, chunked it up a little bit. Cedar. Thing with cedar, it burns fast, so. But she's cooking. She's cooking. It works pretty nice, folks. And again, under $10. Under $10. And if you have a gas range inside your house, you can just take one of them and put it on top of the cinder block here underneath the frying pan. Because these are not cheap. You might be able to get an extra one somewhere. An old stove. A stove shop maybe. So I've got some salt and pepper on there. I don't really season my food here. Salt and pepper is about it. Sometimes on occasion I'll put another spice on there, but salt and pepper is where it's at for me, keeping it simple. And I do have some spices, but on my meat, salt and pepper is just fine. So it's going pretty good now. I got some decent wood in there. And all you need is twigs, but the smaller the twigs, the faster they're going to burn, right? So you're going to have to keep on top of the twigs. So what I'm doing is the cedar. I don't know if you can see that. I just chunked it up so it'll burn a little bit longer, but it's early in the season. I haven't gotten everything that I need for this, but it's getting too warm to run the wood stove to cook very much. All you need is a smudge in there, and anything more than a smudge is, I'm going to end up opening the windows because it gets too hot. And I removed the cannon jar, the bands once they've been dented or started rusting. Any of you who can a lot, you know that you have more bands than you need. So I just set them on the stove and use them as trivets. But this time of year, when I have a low fire, I just remove those trivets so the pot is sitting directly on top of the wood stove. So it's going to heat up a lot faster when there's not a trivet underneath there. So we're cooking pretty good here. That's halfway cooked through, so I'm going to turn them. And you don't have to use a cast iron frying pan for any of this, folks. I like my cast iron. I grew up learning how to cook on a cast iron. Now, where I am, it's all gravel here. And it had just got done raining. We had, like I said, 2 or 3 days of rain. So everything is damp out here. But if we was having a really dry spell, even though I'm on the gravel, you see little sparks. That is from the oil in the cedar. So cedar really is good for starting fires, but it's not good for maintaining fires, right? Especially an open fire. Because if it was dry, I would be awfully scared of starting a fire. So I'll just use this cedar to start the wood, the fire, and I'll be gathering some branches and stuff about this big, okay, and bring them inside and dry them by the little smudge that I have going inside the house. So we don't need a fire. We need to do it safely, folks, right? We need to do it safely. So a lot of people call these a rocket stove, and I guess technically it is. I guess technically it is. I just called it, all my life just a redneck cinder block stove. But I guess technically it is a rocket stove. It acts like a rocket stove. It cooks like a rocket stove. And yeah, I love that little 7/8 inch cast iron pan. It's good for, I can put 3 eggs in there, 2 pork chops in there. That's enough, definitely big enough for one person for a meal, folks. Whatever you can fit in there, right? So almost cooked. Now I will do a demonstration on how, not tonight though, I will do a demonstration on how long this setup here that I have takes to boil water. And maybe I'll cook some macaroni and tomatoes. I really like macaroni and tomatoes as a meal. So maybe we'll time it. We'll time it and see how long it takes to boil water. Maybe this weekend we'll do that. Maybe we'll just cook a few different meals. Maybe we'll do coffee and eggs tomorrow morning. That might be a good idea. It's going to depend on the weather and it's going to depend on the wind, right? Right now the wind is coming right from the east and it's awfully cold. For less than $10, folks, in less than a minute setting it up, you could have a stove just like this, save on your propane, save on your electric. Yeah, you just got to be safe about it, right? You got to be safe about it. So if the shit ever hit the fan, folks, if you had 4 cinder blocks and you had access to a stovetop grate, and you've got a cast iron pan, you don't even have to use a cast iron pan, but I like to. It holds the heat longer, right? You could do all your cooking right outside, because there's always limbs and twigs everywhere as long as you keep them dry, right? You gotta keep them dry. I'm gonna throw one more stick on there. One more stick. That, I'm pretty sure that's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this for a minute. And there's my fire in there. Little firebox. That's where right there, that's where I'll keep my fire starting stuff. Once it's dry, if it rains, well, I'll just have to put something over that, right? And that's what I'm burning now. That's chunky cedar. And there it is. There's the fire down below. So pretty quick, pretty simple. Pretty quick and pretty simple, folks. Alright, I think I'm going to go eat my supper. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your new subscribers. And this is just the start of not standing in the snowbank. See, there's my little tiny snowbank. There's one of them. And, well, there's a little tiny patch there. Or in the woodshed. Unless it rains, then I'll be in the woodshed. But this is just the start of what is to come, folks. What is to come. Showing and demonstrating like I promised. And we'll get through this together, learning some skills, right, folks? Alright, have a good night. Thanks for watching.